Hitman 2 is the 10th game in the Hitman franchise. It's the second game called Hitman 2. The first Hitman 2 is a sequel to Hitman Codename 47, whereas this one is a sequel to Hitman. Not the 2007 movie Hitman, but the 2016 game Hitman. Square Enix, publisher of weeb crap and also some good games, frequently decides that the aforementioned good games don't sell enough copies and gets mad. 2016's Hitman was supposed to be released in just 2 parts, but Square wanted to sell the game before it was done, so instead it was released episodically, and we all know how good episodic games sell. After Hitman didn't do too well, the developers got sold to themselves, and what was going to be called Hitman Season 2 was renamed to just Hitman 2, which explains why it's pretty much the same game. There's a few new mechanics like hiding in plants, hiding in crowds, and a briefcase that lets you smuggle a sniper rifle. NPCs can also see you in mirrors now. Hitman is one of the only games that actually does social stealth. Just ask anybody what their favorite Dishonor mission was, and they're going to tell you it was the party. There's just something extremely satisfying about hiding in plain sight, quietly killing your target, and walking out the front door like nothing happened. Hitman 2 is built around this kind of gameplay. After all, there's no reason to shoot your way through dozens of guards when you can just walk right past them. But if you want to go loud, you can. The shooting is just as good as any other generic cover shooter from 2009. John Wicking your way through levels is very cathartic after your stealth run gets ruined by this guy. Why is this guy here? Stealth games live or die by their level design, and Hitman 2 is no slouch. The first time you play each map, the sense of scale is overwhelming. There's so much to do in these levels that you can't possibly experience it all in one go, which is intentional because you're meant to play the levels over and over and over again, trying different routes and assassination methods each time. Now that may sound boring, but you gotta understand that if I'm the one recommending a game where you just play 5 levels over and over again, then that should tell you it's a good game. Because I absolutely hate backtracking. My worst nightmare is being tied up and forced to play Metroidvania as a gunpoint. Hitman 2 is being sold as one complete package featuring 6 missions, so here's a quick rundown of what you're gonna get. The first mission is just one house on a beach. It's just a little tutorial. It's pretty small, but it's good for a quick 5-minute fix of stealth and shooting. Miami is great. It takes place during a NASCAR race, and one of your targets is a driver. It's one of the better levels in the series. Colombia is more of a generic setting. I mean, I've lost count of how many cartel henchmen I've killed in games over the years, but it makes up for it by being freaking huge. Same thing for Mumbai. The setting is a bit uninspired, but it's really, really big. Then there's Whittleton Creek, a small idyllic American suburb. Sneaking around people's backyards and attending a neighborhood barbecue is a refreshing change of pace. The last mission is a classic masquerade party type scenario. It takes place in a very confusing ancient castle. I haven't even begun to understand the level layout of this place. Overall, I'd say the mission lineup is a bit stronger than the first games. Speaking of which, if you own the first game, which you should, you can play all the old levels in the new game, with all the new gadgets, mechanics, and uglier lighting of Hitman 2. There's also a sniper mode, though I'm hesitant to call it a mode. It's just one mission and you can beat it in like 5 minutes, and for some reason they made it have online co-op too. There's also ghost mode, where you race against another player to assassinate randomly selected targets. I thought it sounded pretty dumb, but it's actually kind of fun. Now I do have complaints. Number 1, why the is this game always online? It's a single player game. There's literally no reason to require a connection to a server. The only thing the server keeps track of is your unlocks. Why aren't they just stored locally? Number 2, why are there no cool new unlocks? If you only have Hitman 2, you'll probably be fine with the unlocks. But if you played the first game for 10 years like I did, then you already unlocked all this crap. And most of the stuff you get from Hitman 2 levels are just duplicate items. There's already too many guns I'm never going to use. The last thing I need is a duplicate of everything in my inventory. The story also sucks. The cutscenes are just PowerPoints, and it has the most predictable twist ending ever. But honestly, who cares about the story in a game where you can dress up as a flamingo and throw an explosive Napoleon Bonaparte figurine at Florida Man? So overall, Hitman 2 is really good. On a scale of Assassin's Creed 3 to Deus Ex, Hitman 2 gets the Brigmore Witches.